So, I kept washing my clothes because unfortunately, I either left them in the washer too long, or at one point I piled them up on the dining room table, but there was no room. Like I was telling yesterday, Angel's foster mama, I have nowhere to put the clothes except, I can put them on the back porch. So I also needed white vinegar to get rid of any, I read online that's for, if you have like a mildew smell or something, if you've left your stuff in the laundry for too long in the washing machine. So I hadn't got any white vinegar. I got the white vinegar yesterday. Took Angel to the vets. And I finally did what I should have done before and put the clothes out on the back porch where they can be nice and not have to worry about them because they don't fit all on the dining room table, etc., etc. Well, of course, isn't this always the way? Isn't it always the way? It's fucking raining out. It's raining out. I don't need the clothes. I'm just saying, I've been waiting for them, and I put them out on the back porch. At least I didn't put them out on the back porch like a sunny day all day, and then they weren't quite dry, but I didn't put them out tonight, but it's raining, so it's like them being washed all over again, and they're not going to dry until it's sunny. See, most of my clothes don't go in the dryer, so when I lived with Bobby, I had this whole rack thing that you have to put together with all bars, but it's very complicated to put together, and I wound up throwing it away. It's 50 zillion bars. Not worth it. I didn't even bother to try to put it together because I didn't have the directions of the box anymore, because he had put it together for me. Okay. You're going to be Mama's emotional support animal, huh? Hopefully such animals don't have to be well behaved, because you are not well behaved by any means. Any way, shape, or form are you well behaved. Huh? Right? Angel's foster mom is looking for a specific jacket that she bought for Angel, apparently, and she can't find it in her house. I found a whole bunch of jackets that were Angel's, but I didn't find that one she wanted. And I looked through the entire closet. So, unless it's mixed up with my clothes in the spare room, she must have it somewhere and we don't have it. And she has a bigger house, and I don't know, I didn't find it in any of the clothes in the closet. I just think it's hysterical. You gotta laugh because you just don't even know. It's been a long time where I keep washing these clothes, and at one point I had them drying on the dining room table, but they didn't dry, and then some of them were piled on top of each other, and then you're gonna get the mildew all over again, so the smell, and then I have to wash them again, and finally I'm like, oh fuck this shit. I'm gonna put the sheets out in the back porch. I'm gonna put the clothes out, hang them out, and of course it's pouring out. Irony for you. Weird. Mom's jacket with the hood, hanging it up. You're not allowed to have a hood in the mental health facility. Cleaned today. I cleaned my mama's room. It's spotless now because I had thrown my stuff on her bed. Because my room's a disaster, but that's because I'm packing. You know what I mean? I would like to find that jacket for Angel's jacket. But I did not find it. I tried. I told her. I said. Because I said, is this it? Is this it? No, that's not it. That's not it. All other jackets of Angel. And then I'm like, I took everything out of this closet here. None of these are it. I don't even know what it looks like, but I think I remember it. But the thing is, if it's not, you know, in the closet, the only other place I would think it might be is mixed up with my clothes, but I don't remember seeing it, so I don't know. It's in my mom's closet. There are other places it could be, but I can't kill myself looking for it for obvious reasons, you know. Busy doing more important shit. So it turned out my mom being taken to the ER was no big deal. I don't know if it was planned or not. Apparently it was just for testing. I had Selena call. Mom didn't want to talk to Selena though. She talked to her for 2 seconds, but she didn't know who was on the phone. And Selena got the feeling she was just being polite or whatnot. This is so obscenely ridiculous, you know? It's just obscenely ridiculous. It's not even like I called Psych 911, which I could have, and other people probably would have done numerous times over the past, 6 weeks or what, since she got out of the hospital too soon, you know? But I didn't. I called medical and found out it was justified. Okay, she had a UTI and she wasn't taking, unbeknownst to me, wasn't taking her meds. Neither of those things were going to improve on their own. You know what I mean? Did they correspond with one another? I don't know. But neither were going to improve on their own. So, for my mom to be turning against me now, she never turned against me before when I've had to call 911, and that was for psych reasons, which are, you'd think she'd turn against you even more. But this was actual, you know what I mean? It turned out it was totally justified. I mean, this is just insanity. Whatever, like I said, she's got Auntie whispering in her ear. It could be too. My mom doesn't like me talking about her on YouTube, but we go back to the same thing. She wanted to write together, and there's no difference. Share her story with the. She's told me before to share her story with the world and wants to write a really juicy book. Okay. Because she most definitely has a colorful past, as do I. I found out things over these last, few years that I've lived here that I never knew, But whatever, it doesn't matter. It's whatever's going on with her. The meds, dementia, Auntie probably whispering in her ear, that she'll save her and she can come save the day and everything. Your daughter thinks you belong and whatever. It's just, that's it. My mom's not going to forgive me. And what's saddest to me, really, I'm more heartbroken over the fact that my mom's sitting there falsely believing that I hate her and that I want her in a nursing, all this crap that is not true. That's worse for me than her hating me, is her thinking things about me that are not true, Oh. Can't even believe it, really. It's just so ridiculous, people. So ridiculous. That's why when I share it with someone new, like my friend down the street, the one I went out with, and share Auntie's text and share, where Auntie goes, back and forth when she liked me. I'm a godsend to my mom, or at least when she was pretending to like me, had the facade, but anyway, I'm a godsend to my mom and to her, I have a text. And then when she doesn't like me, I'm the cause of all my mom's breakdowns and the biggest stress. It's just sick. Auntie's sick. This is all sick. You understand? I said to my friend the other day when I was sharing this all with her and showing her the old auntie, the text from when Auntie liked me or was at least pretending to like me versus the one several months later when and she's just like, she's trying to drive you. She's like, and then she said so that other people have said, how do we know that she hasn't caused your mom's breakdowns? And then it's like. And she's like, and my friend goes, I think she's mentally ill. And she goes, I just can't believe this, Laura. I can't believe that she would be that cruel to you and say all that stuff to you and everything. And then I said, I don't know why I haven't broken down. And she's like, I don't know. I would have already. She's like, I would have definitely broken down already. I don't know how you do it. And then I'm like, well, because I know what my fate would be, That's how I don't break down, because I know what my fate would be if I did break down. That sums it up, right? But this is ridiculous. This that's happening now is ridiculous. Okay? Particularly since the old text from Auntie, you don't cause your mom's breakdowns, you didn't cause your mom's breakdowns, Laura, any more than I do, or I have. Your mother hates anyone who doesn't go along with her crazy fantasies. And now you know how I feel. Like when I had to call 911 on your mom, I became evil and the half-sister. So Auntie gets it. Auntie experienced it. Yet Auntie didn't have an auntie to be doing what aunties do, where instead of being on my side and being like, tell my mom to revoke the release is ridiculous. Laura's your only whatever. You made her the healthcare proxy. You made her whatever. No. Auntie's whispering in her ear and Auntie's grabbing her golden opportunity. She finally has my mom turned against me. So my mom's going to listen to anything Auntie says. And you have to remember, my mom is still locked up in a mental hospital, easily influenced and manipulated and all that crap. So this is fucking beyond sick. And yes, it's a fucking miracle that I have not broken down. My new friend said it. she said it when I was telling her all this, you know, a summary of my past, not even my whole life, just these past 4 years, and she's like, I don't know how you haven't broken down. And just over this recent shit, with my mom turning against me like this, and having Auntie whisper in her ear, and whatever, you know, it's sick. It is sick. It upsets me so much that I am just beside myself, people. I'm sickened. I'm beside myself. But yes, I did clean all day today. I cleaned and I packed. I don't know if my mom will be coming home. Of course, she will be coming home to a spotless house, as usual. Doesn't matter whether or not I'm here. I will still make sure she comes home to a spotless house. It's already, you know. What's not spotless now is just my room, of course, because everything's piled up in there, and the spare room, because I have tons of laundry to do, and the spare room is all, everything, my clothes are piled up in there, you know. And like I said, there's nowhere to put them. So if I can't do them all at once, I just have to do the same freaking load. Yeah, I'm sickened by this. I am so, but the more I think about it, I can't think about it because it'll drive me nuts. It'll drive me nuts. My new friend telling you she couldn't believe any of it. She just couldn't believe it. She was in shock. You know? I mean, we have people and I was looking at them and I was just reminding myself of the auntie when she had the facade at least of liking me versus when she couldn't stand me. And that's just, all right, I gotta. Yeah, way back when I was saying, you know, I love my mom and I try, but, you know, maybe it's best we don't live together, etc., etc. I lack the infinite patience, you know, she needs from some, and Auntie was like, no, don't leave your mom, don't abandon your mom needs you there. It's just such bullshit, people. It's such bullshit. Look, this is back in January, people. I want you to listen. This is from Auntie, based on stuff I was texting to her, okay? Laura, it's not your fault your mom is breaking again any more than it's my fault that she gets hospitalized when she does. See? And then she was like, I can't take her today, but when she had something to do that day, but when she gets back, if I make sure I'm there to open the door, then Auntie said she'll get her to the hospital. And then she said she's leaving for another country and don't, in a couple weeks, and don't want to leave me with no way to stop my mom from going deeper into a psychotic state that she needs to. The quicker she gets help, the quicker she'll get better. This is back in January, okay? And then, because Auntie knows, because she's been on the receiving end of it, where my mom, you know, hates anyone who calls 911, and like you said, if she, you know, she'll just say, she doesn't say anything she does, she'll just say that you yell at her for no reason, or, you know, or you're telling her what to do, when meanwhile, you're telling her to do for her own good, and you know, et cetera, but anyway, Auntie was like, I will stand up for you, Laura. You have been a godsend to your mother and me. Back in January. Here we go, people. Back in January. Now you know what I've been through when your mom gets sick. I become her half-sister and an evil person. Okay? And this is a typo. I can't tell. It's something, she must have been a typo, so it's a nonsensical word. But anyway, she's something. You can't take what she says as her real feelings. You can't take what she says as her real feelings. She hates anyone who tries to stop her from acting out her crazy fantasies, okay? We're going to compare these, because when I read all these texts to my new friend, and then I read the later text where Auntie's calling me a nutcase and a head case and saying I'm the cause of all my mom's breakdowns, my friend looked at me and she's like, she's mentally ill. I can't believe how cruel she is to you, and I think she's trying to drive you into a mental hospital. That's what my friend said, all three of those things. This is back in January. I wasn't her healthcare proxy. I was the alternate, but Auntie's saying, you know, I'm the healthcare proxy. I would say where she sent. Just, that's not anything. The three ones I just read are the main ones, because think about what's happening now, people. Think about all these things that Auntie said, okay? I'm not the cause of my mom's breakdowns any more than Auntie ever was. My mom hates anyone who doesn't, who you know, says anything against her crazy fantasies, stops her from acting out her crazy fantasies or whatever. And Auntie had to experience it where, you know, my mom hates you if you call 911, and Auntie became evil and the half-sister and all that, okay? So now I'm the bad guy because Auntie stepped back from everything. She relinquished control of everything. She's just a sister now that can hang out with her, whatever. And I have to make all the decisions. I become the bad guy. And the minute my mom does to me what Auntie's admitted that she repeatedly did to Auntie, Auntie pounces. Okay? And then my mom's got someone listening to her and agreeing with her. And oh my God, it's so sick. It is so sick, people. So sick. See? And then when I was worried, who knows what I was worried about, probably because my mom was talking crazy shit about her money, I don't know, but then Auntie's like, Laura, your name's on her account, move her money till she's better. You're taking over the job of protecting your mom that I always did. Unfucking believable, Auntie. And then you pounce. She does what you admit she's done to you numerous times in the past when I wasn't in the picture, when you had all the control, when you had to be the bad guy, but you didn't have anybody pouncing and intensifying and manipulating her, and while she's locked up in the mental hospital and whispering in her ear and telling her everything, you know, to turn her against you. So she'd have to turn back to you. It's sick, people. Oh my God. I'm here for you, Laura. We need to be a team for your mom's sake. Yeah. And that fell by the wayside a few months ago because our over a year being a team for my mom's sake, for the sake of her health and well-being, fell by the wayside, didn't it, Auntie? Because I had the nerve, the audacity to cross you. Or remember, Auntie can call me a nutcase, a headcase, all that, and then I said right back at ya, and she didn't like that because she's a bully. She can call me whatever she wants, but if I stand up for myself, she can't stand it. And that is why my poor mom was locked up in the mental hospital. And then my mom used to say, Auntie called me and all she did was bitch and complain about you. Yeah. She can say whatever she wants to me, but if I stand up for myself or whatnot, yeah, she's going to go off. And she tells my mom how I talk about her on YouTube. Yeah. And it's all true. Laura, you need to keep your phone on because I'm leaving to gallivant in another country for a couple of weeks so with my husband, and you become the healthcare proxy because you're the alternate. Yeah. I can't believe any of this is happening right now, people. This is back again. I bowed down to her. I kissed her ass. I let her get her little digs in while we were still maintaining our pseudo-friendship because, believe me, she got the digs in. To her, it's me and my cousin, influenced my mentally ill mom to go against her wonderful sister, and it's all our fault that all that happened, and when the elder services came out, it's all our fault, etc. And I had to listen, and I didn't say anything. I'm trying to be civil and get along with her for the sake of my mom, but she wasn't able to do that the minute I stopped kissing her ass. Again, I'm not saying mean things to her, but I'm not going to let her just walk all over me either, and that was all she wrote. She doesn't care. She obviously doesn't give a shit about my mom if she couldn't continue what she said and I knew was important for us to get along for the sake of my mom's health and well-being, Unfucking-believable. She's a piece of work, I'll tell you. She's a fucking piece of work, my aunt. My friends see right through her bullshit. Right through her bullshit. My mom just thinks nothing's wrong with her and everything would be fine. Like she was telling the hospital she'd be fine if I didn't yell at her all the time. It's just such bullshit. You have to remember when she gets in these hospitals, normally, remember this last time wasn't a psych thing, but normally it's when she's been breaking down for days, and I've told you all the things, the crazy things she does. Okay? It just says it's not abuse if you yell at a kid who's going to put his hand on a hot stove. I've given you guys so many examples. Time she was making hot coffee and pouring. I came out, because I try to, when she's in these breakdowns, just stay in my room, but I came out, hide, and I came out, and what is she doing? She's pouring big thing of hot coffee into my glass blender, and it didn't have the bottom on it, and the coffee, wasn't even aware the hot coffee was going all over the floor and counter, and then she gets mad at me, saying, well, why wasn't the bottom on the blender? That's just one example, people. In any case, when I don't just yell at her for no reason at all. Oh, but when she gets one of those breakdowns, when she was staying up all night, when she wouldn't go to bed, when she was forcing herself awake with coffee, which made her put herself and me and the dog in danger. And this last time when she got out of this hospital, remember, she wasn't right from day one, and I walked on eggshells, okay? But I have to scold her for things, you know. I scold her for, she took Angel out without a leash. You understand? The dog will run into the street. And that's Joe's example of, you know, you yell at a kid who's going to put their hand on the hot stove. She told me after the fact she'd already done it. And then I have to say, Mommy, you cannot do that. Again, her yelling is not screaming at the top of her lungs. It's just if you say something she doesn't want to hear. Okay, just let's make that perfectly clear. I couldn't believe she did that. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's all we need. Your fucking dog dying because you take her out and she runs into the street because she's not trained with anything. She stayed right beside me. To my mom, it's like anything I say, she stayed right beside you because she didn't see anything that interests her. Just like those poodles I told you that ran across the street. They were in the house, and then the door's wide open, and then they see me and Omer, and that was all she wrote. Well, it's the same thing with Angel. And we took her out without a leash. God, she didn't take Omer out without a leash, you know? That's what I'm dealing with here, people. And then she goes into these hospitals, and now she's got Auntie right there, just backing her up. Goes into these hospitals and just acts like everything would be fine if I wasn't around, etc., etc., etc. It's such bullshit. Anyway, Auntie was saying, yeah, the hospital said and told Auntie, you know, that my mom would be absolutely fine if I stopped yelling at her. And Auntie says, I told them she makes up stories about family members when she's sick and that it wasn't true. You know, it just... I mean, the reason that she took Angel out without a leash is sad. Again, she's showing signs of dementia. But she couldn't find the leash that she'd had last and that I was able to find in 2 seconds. Remember, I wasn't around the night before. I was sleeping on the couch in the morning, and I forget what she said to me or whatnot, and she admitted it anyway, because she said, I think she was looking for the leash or something, and I said, well, what'd you do with it, where'd you have it last night? She said, I didn't have it. And I said, how'd you take the dog? And she said, I took Angel out without a leash. Oh, she was fine, she just stayed right beside me. See, mental illness causes her not to understand that just because that happened then, that was just pure luck. It was because there was nothing around to tempt Angel to run away, you know? And then I proceeded to find the leash in 2 seconds. And then I had to go the whole day. I had an appointment, so I left the whole day that day. And I come to find out that night, my mom had just let both dogs go to the bathroom on the floor all day. She hadn't taken either one out, because she'd lost the leash again. She didn't have either leash for either dog, and, you know. But yeah, when my mom is making light of the fact, and I'm like, Mom, Angel's not trained. You cannot take, oh, it was fine. She just walked the see. That's what I have to be like, be firm, Mom. You cannot do that. You can't take these dogs out without a leash. You know. So that's yelling in her eyes, anything that scolds her or whatnot. Let's make that perfectly clear. When she says I yell at her, I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs. And that was, but these last, I was walking on eggshells these last 6 weeks. That was an example where I had to say something. But other times I don't say anything, you know. Oh, here we go. Talking about my mom's mentally ill people. Don't worry about them, Laura. They have mental problems. They should be able to know if your mom's sick or whatnot. You need to live with your mom. This is just her crazy mind, Laura. When she gets out, she'll be so happy to see you and be back home. Now you know how I feel when she made up all those stories about me. You guys get it here? It's just so, oh my God. I just can't believe it. Anyway, those are all those ones. I have to go to bed. And then when she didn't want me bothering her about my concerns for my mom and the new hospital and etc., and I was venting to my so-called friend, she called me a nutcase and a head case and etc., etc., etc. And I'm the cause of all my mom's breakdowns. I'm the biggest stressor in my mom's life, etc., etc., etc. Complete opposite of what she had said just a few months prior, just several months prior. That's crazy making at its finest. I learned about crazy making when I stayed in the emergency domestic violence shelter, That was referring to if you have domestic violence, an abusive partner or whatnot, but crazy making. This is what Auntie, it's just ridiculous. Laura, fuck you. You don't know anything about what I think, so just shut the fuck up. Yeah, but you think you know everything about what I think or who I am, or just, you can't stand anybody who disagrees with you, Auntie. You're the definition of a friggin' bully. That's why Joe always called you a bully. You're a nutcase. You're a head case. Can't believe I got the vinegar. Finally got the clothes to not smell, because it wasn't working using apple cider vinegar. I had to get white vinegar. And then I dried them on the porch and it rained. I just talked to the doctor. He had a legitimate reason to give her gabapentin, yeah. They all have a legitimate reason to whatever, that she's just a fucking guinea pig, Auntie. He's really nice. He's doing right by your mom. Yeah. Yeah, whatever, Auntie. You put her on everything under the sun, including Haldol. And then you like when she comes home, there'll be no daytime pill to take. I think there was a daytime pill to take, actually. That was a bunch of bullshit, too. She just wanted me to bow down to it, and I wanted to vent, because she wasn't supposed to be back in this hospital where she had experienced the lithium toxicity. We had met with the case manager who had told us that he was going to put my mom on the same stuff that that her outside person had wanted, but instead he wound up doing what he wanted. And in the end, I had to accept all that, but I was saying to Auntie, you know, because I was pissed at the nurse practitioner, too. She wouldn't even deign to explain to me why she had wanted my mom on Lamictal compared to what this doctor's putting on my mom on 5 different really potent psych meds. Oh, the mental hospital doctors know best. So then I vented to Auntie, you know, I cannot stand this woman. And Auntie's like, she's right. Just because you're anti-psych meds doesn't mean you need to go off the deep end every time your mom gets hospitalized. I know, Auntie. I'm supposed to be unaffected by all of this, like you are, but you're so wonderful, and you're out for my mom's best interest and want to help her, etc., etc. It's a bunch of bullshit. You just want the fucking control again, so then I'm at your mercy. That was the problem. She goes along with whatever these psych doctors and the mental hospitals do to my mom, and I'm not so easy like that. And there was nothing that I could do about it, but she didn't want to even hear me vent or say, you know, when my mom gets out, I don't want her to be seeing that nurse practitioner, you know, etc., etc. She didn't want to hear it. That's all. And then when she didn't want to hear it, and I wouldn't shut up, that's when she went off on me. Called me a nutcase and a head case and all this crap. For expressing genuine concern about my mom, mind you, not over anything else, people. She didn't want to hear it. Meanwhile, they're texts. I'm not calling her on the phone. If she doesn't want to hear it, she could just, you know, just ignore the text. See, you've already driven the church woman away from your mother with your big mouth. You keep it up and I'll be next. A threat. My friend was like, wow, she even threatened you. Yep. Yep. She can say whatever she wants to me. Call me a nutcase and a head case and etc. But if I say anything to her, you know, all hell breaks loose. Laura, please get some help for your mental health and anger issues. I'm not going to deal with your rages along with your mother's problems. You really have a serious mental health problem. Yeah, because I'm concerned, genuinely concerned about my mom and these hospitals and whatnot. And Lynn, what wound up happening? what wound up happening, she was sent to the regular hospital with 105 temperature and aches and pains, and, you know, and they don't know what's wrong, but I've done deep research, and these meds can do that too. I read about it. They can cause, like, fevers and stuff. And the doctor in the regular hospital, for whatever reason, even though he said they couldn't find any reason for the 105 temperature, they attributed it to a viral infection, but they just do that because they really didn't know, and they admitted that to me. But he took her off the Haldol. Why? You know? Maybe because he's heard before that Haldol can cause that kind of shit. At least when she went back to the frickin' mental hospital, at least that doctor, you know, he did follow that. He kept her off the Haldol. The psych doctor in the regular hospital had taken her off for whatever reason. No, maybe especially work on your own problems. You have so much anger in you towards everything and everyone. I think, oh, this pissed me off. See, this is what happened. I think the nurse practitioner is right. Just because you are so against drugs doesn't mean you have to go off the rails every time your mom gets hospitalized. Yeah, they're fucking killing her. You don't give a shit. That is why I have anger issues. Yeah, I have anger issues. You're right. Because I'm an advocate for my mom, and Auntie doesn't give a shit, and she got pissed when I said it. And then she's like, you don't know what I think. Fuck you. I do know what you think. You just proved it. Saying that nurse practitioner, Nurse Ratchet, is right, and you know what? And I'm telling you all the shit that she's done to my mom, making my mom feel like it's her fault she keeps getting hospitalized, you know, negating the fact of the lithium toxicity thing and all that. My mom keeps getting in these hospitals, but there were extenuating circumstances, you know, and also that she doesn't respect my mom when my mom complains about side effects. Auntie doesn't care about any of that, and that's why I said what I said to her, you know, and she didn't like it because she can say whatever she wants to me, but I can't, you know, do the same to her. You've already driven so-and-so away with your big mouth. Watch out or I'll be next. Yeah, threaten me, Auntie. Go ahead. I've bowed down to you for over a year, kissed your ass, let you get your digs in, smiled, praised you, complimented you on everything. Yes, I did, people. I did. Everything. But when it comes to my genuine concern for my mother, I'm not going to back down. And that was, you know, that was all she wrote. Out the window goes our agreement, me and Auntie, to be, you know, to get along and be civil or whatnot. And she, you know, calling me a nutcase and a head case, and then threatening me that if I don't shut up, she's going to exit my life. Good, go ahead. I said, good, go ahead. And then she'd go, fine, find rides too. Yeah, Auntie, fuck you. Fuck you now too. You've been on the receiving end of what my mom's doing me now, making me the scapegoat and evil and all of that. But you didn't have someone like you whispering and influencing her and manipulating her into thinking it even more and thinking it's valid. Fuck you, Auntie. I have anger issues. Yeah, I wonder why. I wonder why, people. I wonder why I have so-called anger issues. Unbelievable. Anger issues. What happened to the fucking... You're in that case, you're a head case. Oh, stop texting me. You're a fucking head case and I'm done talking to you. Fuck you, Auntie. You've already driven away so-and-so with your big mouth. Keep it up. Ooh, next. Good. Go away. Fucking bitch. I tried so hard with you, but I'm not going to back down when I'm genuinely concerned about my mother's, you know. Just bow down to these doctors. Surprise, surprise. You say you're going to be my mom's advocate. Someone who's her advocate doesn't just acquiesce and bow down to any fucking thing a doctor says, Auntie. That's not a fucking advocate. I said as much to Auntie and she didn't like it. Fuck you, you don't know what I think or how, yeah, I do. I most definitely do. I most definitely do, Auntie. You go along with whatever. I definitely know what you think when it comes to psych meds, and you believe the bullshit about chemical imbalance, all this crap. And you don't even think for a second what these meds are doing to my mother. The fact is, people, all I was doing, you understand? This is just about my mom. And we disagree, but me and my aunt are supposed to be pseudo-friends where I should be able to vent to her or whatnot. And she doesn't want to hear anything that goes against what she thinks. See? That's what got me enraged. And saying that to me. Can you imagine how angry that made me? So-and-so is right. Just because you're anti-drug doesn't mean you have to go off the deep end every time your mom gets hospitalized. No, she's a fucking bitch who will always go along with whatever the nut house people put my mom on. She won't respect my mom, and my mom cries to her that she's over-medicated and the side effects and all of that, you know? Remember that time she got out of that hospital, people? She fell off our front porch. She was so over-medicated she fell in the bathroom. She was on way too much. And that little NP didn't give a fuck, okay? Didn't give a fuck. In fact, she said the same thing that the nut house psychiatrist had said to my poor mom when he wouldn't go along with what the psychiatrist in the regular hospital cut the gabapentin down. And she said the same goddamn thing he did to her. Oh, well, you know, there are people that are on, you're just on 1200, Samantha. There's people that are on 3600. You know, I hate that fucking attitude. So for Auntie to have said that to me, of course I got upset, you know. I have nothing to say to you. Sarah is not even a real psychiatrist, and I told you, Mom's church friend, and I told Mom's church friend that you wouldn't even be on our side in helping Mom's church friend, and I helped my mom find a real psychiatrist. Looks like I was right about that, too. Sarah was going to take my mom off of the clonidine, and my mom's caseworker and this manager told me that it's not being used to treat her supposed high blood pressure. You have always been pro-drug and do not care how much medication my mom is on. Meanwhile, it's not like her being on a shitload of that poison has ever kept her stable for any length of time, only proving how pathetically arbitrary the world of psychiatric medication really is. This is when she pissed me off that I went off on her. You should go to Dr. Peter Bregan's website or read his book, Toxic Psychiatry. A true advocate for my mom would never believe these doctors always know best or be as unbelievably pro-medication as you are. I have very valid reasons for not liking Nurse Ratched, as Selena calls her, and my mom's church friend was 100% on my side when it came to that. There is nothing worse than having your feelings negated or being accused of having, quote, anger issues, unquote, when you are not the only one who knows that in this particular instance, your anger is completely justified. Even my mom's social worker in this hospital told me that the drug regimen my mom is on now is probably not the best thing for her to be on when she gets out. But my mom's, Nurse Ratched always keeps my mom on exactly what my mom was prescribed by her latest mental hospital doctor, who treats my mom in a controlled environment and does not necessarily know what is best for my mom in the outside world. Just look at the trazodone fiasco for solid proof of that. Those a-holes down that place where they violated my mom's HIPAA rights had my mom on a massive, this is a good example, people, why I hate Nurse Ratched, okay? On a massive 200 milligram dose of trazodone. And that's a shitload of trazodone. One of my YouTube friends, Heavyweight, told me that was a sickening amount of trazodone. They had on a 200 milligram dose of trazodone. And I am who realized my mom was in danger on that much trazodone. Yet ignorant cunt, I'm just adding that in, ignorant Nurse Ratched had not been concerned at all. She wasn't concerned at all that my mom was on 200 milligrams of trazodone a night. I called up Nurse Ratched and told her that my mom was cutting her trazodone to 25 milligrams a day and I wasn't asking permission. You were so scared of my mom not being compliant with her meds that you had told my mom that and that's what Auntie had said, because that's when, that she was afraid of, because the elder services or whatnot, that if I wasn't living here, you know what I mean? My mom would be dead by now if I wasn't living here. She would be dead, and I have to put up with this shit going on now, with this shit with Auntie and my mom, and it's just sick. It's sick. But anyway, that's when Auntie called me a head case and a nut case and all that. She just doesn't want to hear it. She doesn't want to hear my justifications for hating Nurse Ratched and for wanting my mom to get away from her. Auntie doesn't care. You understand? 'Best you work on your own problems. I know, because you don't give a shit. You don't give a shit about Nurse Ratched and everything. Who my mom is going to go back to, by the way, just so you know. She's going back to the same people. So everything I tried to do for her was nothing. Was worth nothing. Nothing. Everything I tried to do for her. And she appreciates nothing, And she's got Auntie whispering in her ears, and it's just all sick. $200 milligrams of trazodone a night is okay if you are locked up in a mental hospital in a controlled environment. You can't take it at home. But my mom was being a good little girl, and if I hadn't been living here, she would have continued being a good little girl, because Auntie's never been hands-on, okay? And little Nurse Ratched just goes along with whatever the mental hospital doctor puts my mom on, no matter what. I see through the shit, people. My mom has been lucky to have me here, but in the end, it was all for fucking nothing.